Hello students, I am Jobis Chako. I am here for teaching chemistry for 9th class students. So our first chapter is language of chemistry. The main topics in this chapter: symbols, valency, radicals, chemical formula, compound, chemical equation, and some calculation for molecular mass. So we can start with the symbols. Before getting into the topic, I want to ask one question. What is language? What is language? So language is a method of human communication, or we can say it's a system of communication used by a country or community, right? So if I want to ask something, like if I want some food, so I should ask, can you bring some food for me? So this is a language. So I am expressing my views by saying English, Malayalam, Hindi, or any other language, the language which both of us can understand. That is known as language. So we know in English there are 26 alphabets. So that alphabet combines to form words, and this words combines to form sentence. This is known as language. Similarly in chemistry, chemistry is a branch of science which deals with the matter and their properties. So we need some languages in chemistry also to study simply and easily. So we have one language in chemistry that is known as language of chemistry. So we can start with the symbols. Okay. So we know famous cricket player, that is Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So we are writing MSD in short form, right? For what purpose we are writing MSD? It's very easy to call or easy to write. Otherwise, we have to write word by word. It's very difficult, or it will take time, and it is a space consuming. So we are writing simply MSD. Similarly, in chemistry also, we know there are 118 elements are discovered so far. So all the elements having long names, and it's very difficult to write the names always, because always we are using the names of the elements in chemistry. So it's very difficult always the using the names. So we have the symbols. For example, hydrogen. So it's very difficult to write always hydrogen by the words. So we can simply write hydrogen by H, right? So now we have this symbol. Before that we don't have this type of symbols. So we one scientist, his name is John Dalton. He was the first scientist proposed the symbols for the elements. Okay. So he used the figurative symbols. For example, we know according to him, atom was a sphere, right? So he made use this idea in these symbols also. So he used, for hydrogen atom, he used the symbol circle with the dot. Clear? Then nitrogen atom, circle with one vertical line. Then oxygen atom, he used the circle with the solid circle. So this was the figurative symbols he proposed, but it's very difficult to remember always, because almost is similar, quite similar, right? So it's very difficult to always remembering these symbols. So next scientist came, his name was Berzelius. So he proposed the new way to represent the elements by using symbols. So he set 4 ways to represent the elements by using symbols. So symbols means what? It's a short form of an element. So symbol means what? It is a short form of an element, right? Because we have 118 elements. We have 180 elements. So it's very difficult to write always the names, because all the elements having long names. So it's very difficult to write always the names, or to spell the names always. So we have the symbols. So how he had proposed this symbols for elements? So we can see First he taken the name of the element, first letter of the name of the element. For example, we can say hydrogen, hydrogen atom. Some case, first case, he took the first letter of the name of an element. So hydrogen atom, first letter is what? H. So he took H. Next example, oxygen atom. That is O. Another example, nitrogen atom. N. So he used the first letter. But we know we have 180 elements, but we have only 26 alphabets, right? So there must be a repetition. So we can't use the first letter only, always. So second way, that is, use the first and second letter of the name of an element. So we can see that second case. Suppose helium. You can see here, for hydrogen we have taken H. Then if you are taking H for helium, it will be confused. So in these type of cases, he took first and second letter of the name of an element. So that is what? H, E. Then keep in your mind one thing, the first letter should be capital letter and the second one small letter. Another example, lithium, Li. First letter is capital letter and the second letter is small letter. So lithium spelling is what? L-I-T-H-U-M, I-U-M, lithium. So first letter is L, so that we have to write in capital letter, and the second one is I, so we have to write in small letter. Okay, so this is the second case. Then third case, he took the name from Latin. That means, example, sodium. What is the symbol of sodium? Sodium. Sodium symbol is Na, but it's not. There is no relation with this word. So in these cases, actually, he took the symbol from their Latin name. So sodium Latin name is natrium. Okay. Another example, copper. Cu is a symbol for copper. Then what is the Latin name of copper? That is cuprum. Okay. So like this. Next, potassium. Another example, potassium. What is the symbol? K. Because the Latin name of potassium is kalium. So like this, he took or he made the symbol for every element. So you can see that in the textbook there is a given the element symbols. So please note down that. Okay. Next. Now we can see next topic. What is that? Valency. Next is valency. So before getting into this topic, we can take the 18th group elements. What is 18th group elements? Noble gases are the 18 group elements, right? So we know noble. What is the specialty of noble gases? It's also known as rare gases. What is the specialty of noble gases? They having stable electronic configuration, so they will not react with any other atom, right? So all the elements have the tendency to attain the stability like noble gases, but noble gases already attain the stability. That means they already stable atoms, so they will not react with any other atoms. Okay, so we can see the electronic configuration of noble gases. So electronic configuration you have studied in 8th classes. So I will write here electronic configuration of some of the noble gases. See helium. Helium is one noble gas, right? So what is the formula of, what is the electronic configuration of helium? We know total number of the atom, that is 2 only. Total number of electrons, that is 2 only. So electronic configuration will be 2. Next is neon. What is atom number of neon? 10. So you know how to write the electronic configuration. First shell, maximum capacity to accept the electrons, that is 2. So first shell having 2 electrons, second shell having 8 electrons. Okay. The next one, you can see in this is a valence shell. What is valence shell? The last shell is known as valence shell. Okay. Next one is argon. Next noble gas, what is that? Argon. So what is the electronic configuration of argon? Argon atomic number is 18. So what is the electronic configuration of argon? That is 2, 8, 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. So total number is 18 electrons. Okay. So this argon, this valence shell contains 8 electrons. Next is krypton. What is the electronic configuration of krypton? So that is atomic number is 36, right? So the electronic configuration will be 2, 8, 18 and 8. So here you can see the last shell contains how many electrons? 8 electrons. Except helium, other elements having 8 electrons in the last shell. That means valence shell, right? So they are stable because they are obeying octet rule. Helium is obeying duplet rule. So they are stable. According to octet rule and duplet rule, if the valence shell contains 2 electrons, for in the case of helium only 2 electrons, other elements should have 8 electrons for attain the stability. So in these noble gases having 8 electrons in the valence shell, so they are more stable elements. They will not react with any other atom. Clear? But other elements, they don't have 8 electrons in the valence shell. So what is the tendency of that type of atoms or elements? They want to become stable. So in order to become stable, they should release electrons or gain the electrons. Sometimes it will share the electrons. Some elements will share the electrons also to attain the stability. Now we can see how. Suppose the elements or the atoms having 1, 2, 3 electrons in the valence shell. If atoms having 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in the valence shell, they have tendency to donate the electron. For what? To attain the stability. So they will donate the electron to attain the stability. It is easy to donate than accept. Here in this case, suppose one atom, suppose an element having 1 electron in the valence shell. Okay, I will write with example. First you listen. This case, 1 electron in the valence shell. So in this case, to attain the stability, they need 7 more electrons, right? So it is very difficult to accept 7 electrons. Which is better to donate 1 electron or accept the 7 electrons? So easy to donate 1 electron. So it will donate the electron. The case of this 2 electrons also, 3 also. So they have tendency to donate the electrons. So if the elements donating the electrons, we can call they are metals. Clear? Next, suppose some atoms having 5, 6, 7 electrons in the valence shell. So their tendency is, instead of donating the electron, they have the tendency to accept the electron to attain the stability. All the atoms having the tendency to accept the electron, accept or donate the electron or share the electron. For what? To attain the stability. So in this case, stability, how can you say they are stable atoms? When they having 8 electrons in the valence shell, then they will be stable. So in this case, in the valence shell contain 1 electron. So they need 7 more electrons. So maybe before this shell, maybe they having 8 electrons. Definitely they having 8 electrons. So they will donate the electrons. Okay. So in this case, 5, 6, 7. So which is better, to donate 5 electron, or in this case I am saying, for donate 5 electron or accept 3 electrons, which is better? Better to accept 3 electrons. So these electrons will accept the 3 more, 3, or in this case 2, in this case 1 electron will accept. Okay. So they will gain the electrons. If The elements gaining the electron, we are considering them as non-metals. So they are non-metals. Okay. Then, if the elements having 4 electrons in the valence shell, we will consider which is symbol to share the electrons. So they will share with 4 other electrons, then thereby they will attain the stability. So that element we will consider as a, here they will share the electrons, we will consider as a metalloids. But carbon, we know carbon tendency to share the electrons, but carbon we are considered as a non-metal. That is the expression. Okay. So now we can come to the valency. So now you understood the elements having tendency to donate, gain or share the electrons. So now we can see. Suppose I am taking sodium atom. What is the symbol of sodium? Na. What is the atomic number of sodium? That will be 11. So the electronic configuration of sodium, we can write 2, 8 and 1. So this is a valence shell. This last shell is known as valence. This is a first shell, second shell, third shell. So this is a valence shell, last shell. So which is symbol? To donate 1 electron or accept 7 electrons to attain the stability. Definitely to donate the 1 electron. So it will donate, sodium will donate 1 electron, then it will become Na1 plus. After donating, it will get a positive charge. Then it will get, they donated 1 electron, so they will get 1 plus charge. So we will get Na1 plus. So after donating 1 electron, see this will act as a valence shell, right? This will act as a valence shell. So this valence shell contains 8 electrons. Clear? Now they are stable. After donating, they will get positive charge. Okay, then another case, this is a metal. We are considering this one as a metal. When donating the electrons, we consider as a metal. We already said. Now, next is chlorine atom. Chlorine atom atomic number is 17, right? So what is the electronic configuration of chlorine atom? 2, 8, 7. Okay, 2, 8, 7 is the electronic configuration of chlorine atom. Here you can see the third shell will act as a valence shell. The valence shell contains 7 electrons. You know valence shell should, when the valence shell contains 8 electrons, then it will be stable. So in order to get the stability, they should accept 1 electron, right? Then donate 7 electrons. Because if they want to donate 7 electrons, they need more energy. But they can accept, they can attain the stability easily by accepting 1 electron. In this case, chlorine will accept 1 electron. Okay, then it will get 1 negative charge, because electron having negative charge. So they will get 1 negative charge. Why they got positive charge? Because 1 electron is leaving. We already studied in smaller classes, in an atom consists of the same number of electron and proton. So by donating 1 electron deficiency will be there. So which one is more? Positive charge is more. So the positive charge, how many positive charge is more? Only 1 positive, that we are representing here. Clear? Then in the chlorine atom there is a same number of positive charge and same number of negative charge, but when this chlorine atom accept 1 electron, they will get 1 more negative charge, extra 1 negative charge. So that we are representing here. Clear all of you? So what is, now we can come to the definition of valency. What is valency? Valency is number of electrons gained, donate or shared by an atom is called valency. Clear? The valency is the number of electrons gained, donate or shared by an atom is called valency. So can you say the valence of sodium atom? So the number represents the valency of that atom. So can you say the valency of sodium atom? Here sodium atom is donated 1 electron, so valency will be 1. So what is the valency of sodium atom? The valency of sodium atom is 1. So what is the valency of chlorine atom? The valency of chlorine atom is 1, right? Because chlorine atom accepted 1 electron. So our definition is what? Number of electron gained or donated or shared by an atom. That number represents the valency. Clear? So what is the valency of sodium? That is 1. What is the valency of chlorine? That will be 1. Clear all of you? We can see one more example. Suppose copper. Copper atomic number is 29. So we will get the 2 electron in the valence shell. Okay. So while writing the electronic configuration, in the valence shell we will get the 2 electron. So they have the tendency to donate 1 electron in the valence shell. Copper having 1 electron in the valence shell. So in order to attain the stability, they should lose 1 electron. But here, this copper can show the more than 1 valency. Some special elements, that means mostly transition elements, will show the more than 1 valency. So in this case, copper can show more than 1 valency. That means copper will show +1 valency and +2 valency, because some special elements will donate electrons from the penultimate shell. Penultimate shell means second last shell. So when they will get the energy, external energy, 1 electrons will jump into the valence shell. So the valence shell will consist with 2 electrons. Then these 2 electrons will be donated from there. So they will get the +1 valency as well as they will get the +2 valency. This is known as variable valency. So this is also another topic in our 9th class syllabus. So that is variable valency. Variable valency means what? The elements can show more than 1 valency. This is known as variable valency. Some elements can show more than 1 valency. This is known as variable valency. So how it is showing variable valency? That some of the elements will donate electrons from the penultimate shell. Penultimate shell means second last shell. So when they will donate electrons from the penultimate shell, they can show more than 1 valency. So that is known as variable valency. Clear? Next is radical. Next topic is radical. So what is radical? I hope all of you understood about valency, right? Valency means nothing but, what is valency? The number of electrons donate, gained or shared by an atom or element. Okay. Next is radical. Radical, we can say a group of atoms with negative or positive charge is known as radical. For example, potassium K1 plus is a radical, positive radical. Radicals are 2 types: positive radicals and negative radicals. Okay, positive radicals and negative radicals. So we know potassium or sodium. We can take simple example, that is sodium, because we already discussed that sodium case. We know in order to attain the stability, sodium will donate 1 electron, then it will get plus charge, 1 plus charge, right? So in this case, we can call this as a positive radical. It's a radical, an atom or group of atoms with charge, positive charge or negative charge is known as radical. So radicals are 2 types: positive radicals and negative radicals. So can you say one example of negative radicals? It's very easy because we just discussed now about valency. In that case, we discussed about chlorine, right? Chlorine will accept 1 electron, then it will get negative charge. So that chlorine contains 1 negative charge. So the atoms having charge also, that then we can call it as negative radicals. Clear all of you? So I hope all of you understood up to here. So next class we will discuss the remaining topics. Thank you.